Today on Defining Wealth Beyond the Numbers, we're joined by Craig Simonson, president of Phoenix Financial Services, LLC. Craig's journey is one I think listeners will appreciate. He moved to the Low Country in 1995 after working in Denver for one of the big 8 accounting firms, later shifting into real estate development here in the region. And when the market downturn hit in 2008, 2010, Craig did something remarkable. He reinvented himself and launched his own company, Phoenix Financial Services. What stood out to me in this conversation is how Craig built a thriving business for those challenging years. Today, his firm serves more than 30 clients with a team of 12, all grounded in resilience, integrity, and a deep understanding of the financial landscape. You're really going to enjoy this discussion. Craig's perspective on entrepreneurship, reinvention, and defining wealth through purpose and perseverance is incredibly insightful. Welcome, Craig.
Good to see you.
Yeah, thanks for coming on the podcast.
My pleasure.
Appreciate it. I usually see you at the gym.
I couldn't say no. After a while, I couldn't say no.
Because I wouldn't let you say no. When you ask a lot, persistence pays off, right?
That's right.
So we always start off with what was your first job?
So my first job, actually had a paper route when I was a boy, right?
That's the theme today, by the way.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Little paper route. But then I only did that for a year or two. But the one that I had for probably about 8 years I was a caddy. And this is in Denver, Colorado. I was growing up. And I caddied for, like I said, about 8 years. Put myself through college doing stuff. So yeah, it was a summer job, obviously. Worked probably every day during the summer doing that. You know, at least, if not 7 days, 6 days a week.
You need to go to college.
Yeah, I mean,
you need to pay for it.
That's how I did it.
You do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. And then what about after that? What took you to your position now? Give me some progression.
So I got into the accounting world back in high school. I took a bookkeeping class that was real popular because of the teacher, quite frankly. Right? A bunch of guys took that class.
So not the material.
No.
Whatever works.
Yeah, so I took that. It came pretty easy. I kind of liked it. So then you get into applying for college. They asked for your major, and I didn't really know, so I put down accounting. Kind of stuck with that. 4 years of that. Got my degree, and I had a emphasis in accounting. Started with at the time was the big 8 accounting firm. It's 4 now or something like that.
Might even be 3.
Might even be 3. Right?
Yeah.
Started with them. Worked for them for a while. Got kind of tired of that. Got burned out, as a lot of people do.
Right?
A lot of people do. I ended up coming down here into the Low Country, Beaufort County, for a client of that firm out of the Denver. It was in the Denver office, but they were a real estate developer. Actually started here, went out west, had a big presence up in Snowmass and Aspen. Came down here working for them as their controller. Worked for them for about 15 years when 8, 9, and 10 hit. Real estate world went sideways.
Of course.
They had developed a couple local communities that we still did all the HR, payroll, accounting work for, even though that they had transitioned from developer-owned and operated to themselves back in 2000. They came to me and asked if this guy goes under, or this group goes under, what are you going to do? I'd been thinking about that a lot myself, quite frankly. We came to some long-term arrangements. After some brief discussions, I closed the door working for a developer on a Friday, opened it on a Monday with my own company. That was back in November of 2010. Wow. Here we are 15 years later.
So when you were thinking about it before it happened, what were you thinking about doing? What were some of the ideas that were going through your mind?
Well, it's interesting because there was a lot of different things, right?
You're just running things through your
Yeah, there was a lot, and I didn't really have anything specific in mind. So this sort of fell in my lap. And you think about what was going on back then, especially in the real estate world, and how it was affecting the rest of the U.S.
It was rough.
It was nerve-wracking, right?
Course.
But it was an opportunity that I took a leap of faith, I guess, and it worked out. So
that's great.
Yeah,
you create your own luck, I think.
You do.
We all need luck, and we all have luck, but you also create your own as well.
You got to be willing to take advantage of something that comes your way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So would you think that that is because you're an entrepreneur, obviously, you
Yeah.
have your own business, would that be one of the main characteristics, or are there other characteristics that you think an entrepreneur would or should or could help them have?
well, I think that's obviously one, right? I mean, you gotta have the guts to do it in the first place. I mean, I know you see this in your business too, but you think about how many people will think about doing something forever and never do it, right? Because they're waiting for that right time. Everything's got to be perfect. Nothing's ever perfect, right? So to me, you gotta. There's a point where you got to go for it. If you're gonna do it, you gotta do it.
Yep.
And I do that. I'm basically a CFO for hire, but I don't just do that. I mean, I'm still in real estate. I'm in commercial stuff. I'm in residential stuff. I'm in, I own interests in other companies as well. So it's more than just being a numbers guy.
Yeah. No doubt. It's relationships.
Yeah, it is relationships.
That has been the theme also. So the reason why I did the podcast is because I think people are very interested in what made someone successful, right? And everyone's story is different. But I'm also finding that it's coming down to some same characteristics: persistence, relationships. That's what really it's about.
Relationships are big because so when I started in 2015, basically I had 2 clients, and a staff of about 4 or 5. I was counting me. Now we're over 30 clients, 13 people if I count the kids. A couple more, but 13 people counting me. But I do no advertising. I don't have a website. It's all word of mouth.
There's a surprise when you tell me that. Yeah.
It's all relationship building.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, when I hire people, look to hire people and they try to Google me, they can't find me. They find a collection agency in Arizona. They're like, I don't think that's it. Yeah.
I tried to Google you. It didn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work. But again, it's that I do that intentionally. It's controlled growth. Because I also I've watched people that have grown so much or so fast that they lose control and they end up ultimately failing. So that's why I do that intentionally to, one, keep the product, the high integrity of the product and what we offer.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. So with your employees, right, there's leadership qualities that are needed. And what do you think are the important leadership qualities when you're managing people?
Well, that can be the hardest part, right? Because emotions come into play. What sometimes you think is obvious isn't always obvious, and many times
Most times isn't.
Most of the time it's your own fault because you didn't express what you wanted or what you wanted the outcome to be. Mm-hmm. It's cliche, but hire good people. Get out of their way, but you do have to manage. You have to
steer.
You have to steer. You have to communicate and share the vision and what you want, what you expect. But again, I'm not a micromanager. My team will tell you I'm not a micromanager by any means. If anything, I'm probably too far the other way because I'm out with clients and I'm very rarely in my office. Mm-hmm. But again, hire good people, let them do their thing.
Mm-hmm. Is there a certain quality or characteristic you look for when you're hiring?
I definitely want someone who can play nice in the sandbox, because they need to be able to develop those relationships as well. Because we're not just in the numbers game, we're not just in the process, so that's part of it, but you got to be, you can be able to build that connection with the clients and with our team, with their team. Mm-hmm. The biggest compliment that I've ever had is that I know one of the GMs that I worked with, one of my larger clubs, said, I know you have other clients, but I always feel like we're your only one.
I love that.
That's exactly, and that's stuck with me, and that's what I share with my team. That's what I want everybody to say about you. Yep. And so that's the goal.
Was that your aha moment, do you think, in business?
That was 2 things. One, the real estate downturn created an opportunity, and I just had to have the guts to do it. And then that one, it just dawned on me. It's like you got to make every client feel special.
Yeah. And some business owners might get concerned by that in some way and go, wait, I don't want them to think I don't have any other business. When in reality, it's actually a good thing when someone says it because they know you have a business.
They rely on the expertise I have in certain industries because I have so many different clients in similar industries. So they rely on that. They know I do. Mm-hmm. but I don't want there ever to be conflicts to where, with scheduling, with whatever, that that they start thinking that we're second tier to somebody else.
So I'm just going to read this. You wrote down,
Uh-oh.
this is back in the day. I don't know if you remember this, but you wrote, I am an expert at being a generalist.
Yeah.
Tell me what that means.
Well, so again, I'm a finance guy. I'm not a tax guy just because I have a CPA. I don't do taxes. I'm not a technical GAAP guy, but I know just enough about all that stuff to know when someone's feeding me a little line, or maybe to ask follow-up questions or steer somebody to somebody who is an expert.
Exactly.
So that's kind of what I mean by that in the financial world.
Yeah.
I couldn't do what you do right now. I mean, if I jumped into that world, I know I could. But that's why I rely on people who are smarter than me in all those.
That's true. And by the way, we do the same thing. Yeah. And so we're in wealth management and we do the same thing. We have a very good knowledge of a lot of things, but we're not experts in everything. And people don't expect that, right?
Right.
So we can be able to bring in the experts when it's necessary. But to recognize that an expert is necessary is also an important point.
I remember a time when I was with, say this without giving away anything. I remember being in a position one time where we were with a development and it was financed through a boutique credit company that was in New York. And the managing partner of that company came in, we're having dinner, and I was sitting right across from him, same thing. And he was very upfront, told me, this guy reminded you of sort of this stereotypical New Yorker, slick back hair, drove his Porsche and all this kind of stuff, right? And had the attitude. And he told me he thought he was always the smartest guy in the room. And I was like, thinking to myself, good for you, make a long story short, he took over the development because he thought he was going to make a killing on it. He had about 15 million into it. The product was worth at the time probably about 70. So you can see what he was thinking. Didn't know what he was doing. Wasn't the smartest guy in the room apparently, and ended up selling it for 5. I kind of loved it, because one, it was a good lesson. Don't be the smartest guy in the room all the time, but think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could have happened to a nicer guy, by the way.
And if I think you want to, in life, you want to surround yourself with people, and in business too, that are better than you, because you learn so much from them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, not just professionally, but I agree with you. It's personal as well.
Yeah, because you become the people that you surround yourself with.
So I try to tell my boys.
Me too. Me too.
Enough, right?
And the thing is, when you're younger, you might not recognize that as much, but as you get older, you start to realize, wow, that is true. It's just it's an odd thing that happens, but you just wind up becoming like the people that are around you.
It's inevitable.
Yeah. And my best ideas, I said this on every guest today, I said, my best ideas come from other people, but just developed for me.
Yeah, you got to tailor them to yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
So they're for me, but they didn't start with me. They were from someone else.
Yeah.
So how do you think you've changed from when you first started your business to now?
Well, I don't lose sleep at night anymore, put it that way, right? With some of this stuff, I always, when you first start, I think as an entrepreneur, I'm still a workaholic. I still put in a lot of hours, more because I think I want to now, as opposed to me thinking or knowing that I have to do everything myself. That's changed a bunch because I can't do everything. There's no way now that, we're the size we are that I can do everything myself. So that's changed a bunch. And I don't lose sleep over that anymore.
Lose sleep over the control part of it?
Right. Right.
Okay.
Right. Again, it's back to hiring the good people. Again, let them do their thing, but verify, make sure things are being
trust but verify.
Yeah. Trust but verify. But that's changed quite a bit. And then how I think how I interact with just the people in general. I deal with a lot of really smart people who have been very successful, some more than others, right? And it's the ones who are have been very successful. I seem to probably take more away from, and watching how they interact with people. You just kind of learn how to maybe how to be with people.
Yeah.
It's easy now, I guess, to kind of figure out who's keep it nice, who is full of it a little bit, and who's not. Right?
Yeah, you get that from experience.
Yeah, you get that from experience. Yeah, I agree.
I always say it's better to be interested than interesting.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
It's nice to be both if you can. But,
and that's what one of the other guests said also. He goes, you want to be both.
Yeah.
But in general, you want to listen.
Yeah.
Because when you listen, you learn a lot.
Yeah.
And then when you learn a lot, you can apply that to what works in your life.
Yeah, the other cliche, right? So you have two of these, one of these.
Yeah, that's right.
Listen first.
So what about with your employees, right? Where do you think will you always, hire the right people, or did you learn that also?
Well, you learn. One, for me, it's when I'm interviewing somebody that's going to work on my team, they're there because, on paper, they have all the technical skills, right? But I'm looking for a fit, a cultural fit. And sometimes it's hard with, you're meeting with someone for an hour or maybe hour and a half, 2, if you're having a good conversation. But I don't interview, it's conversation because I'm trying to figure out who they are.
Where they are.
And will they work well with the team? And that hasn't always been the case. I mean, I've hired some duds, and unfortunately, you gotta realize that quick and make the change so it doesn't become toxic. Yeah.
Was that hard for you?
It's hard.
Yeah, it is hard.
Hey, it's nobody. Well, I should say nobody. I don't like hurting people, right? I mean, I generally give people benefit of the doubt. Just doesn't always work out that way.
I worked with my brother at one point, and we had someone that worked for us, and he called him in and he said, hey, by the way, I don't know if this is really working out for you. We're not firing you, but I just don't think this business is for you, and I just want to let you know that. And he was upset by it, but we're still friends to this day. And he actually says, you know what, Rob, that's his name. He was right. I didn't want to realize it at the time, and it was actually a good thing because about a couple of years later, he went and got a job somewhere else, and he said it was the best thing he did because it was just a better fit for him in that job. So sometimes you got to do these things, and you're actually doing it for the other person. Yeah, it's helping you because they're off your team, but you're also saying, look, this just isn't. Find something that you can excel at.
And what you said, it fits better with them.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if you're miserable, everybody around you is going to be miserable too. It's not going to work.
What do you like about being an entrepreneur?
It's exciting.
Yeah.
It can be nerve-wracking, right? But it's exciting. It's not the same grind day after day. I think I would have a hard time. I look at some of my team members, and they're role players, and they are 100% fine with that and don't want to do. They don't want to do what I do.
It's their personality.
Right? They do not want to do what I do. But I look at them and I say, I don't want to do what they're doing. And that's great. It's why it works. So, but yeah, it's not the same routine. For a conservative bean counter, I guess I try to break that mold. I'm not most people don't know I'm a bean counter, I guess.
So being a conservative bean counter, was it really hard to finally start the business, or was it a lot easier because you were essentially at a point where you had to make a decision anyway?
Both actually. Something needed to be done. But even before then, I had a construction company that I was a partner in, a home builder company that I was a partner in before that. So I've always kind of had that little bit of an entrepreneurial whatever element, in my makeup, my DNA. So
where do you think that came from? Did you have any mentors in your life, or?
No, not when it came to that. I don't know. It's just, my idol growing up was my granddad. And he was he owned a large cattle ranch in Nebraska, and he was very successful in the industry, very well known in the industry. He's actually in the Cowboy Hall of Fame.
Is that right?
Yeah. So
I didn't even know you had one.
Yeah, I know. I didn't either, really. But I don't know. I think I got that maybe from him. Just
watching.
Just watching. Yeah. Even though I was young.
Yeah. That's when you're most impressionable.
Yeah.
This is off the cuff question, but would you consider yourself an introvert or an extrovert?
if you ask my wife, probably think I'm more of an introvert. But I think it depends on the situation, right? Because if we're out and about, I watch people. I observe a lot of things, and I think I learn a lot of things from people. But I have no problem in any setting, chatting with anybody. So I don't know if that. I don't know. I think it just sort of depends on the situation.
Well, for me, I consider myself an introvert, but I would say I'm an extroverted introvert.
Yeah,
because over the years, like I would prefer to relax and sit with the family at home, but in life that you can't always do that. Right. So you teach yourself and you become that. So I consider myself an extroverted introvert. And that's why I ask, because I think a lot of successful people think they're extroverts, but in reality, they might actually be introverts inside.
Yeah, I wouldn't call myself an extrovert, but I wouldn't even try to describe myself as that. But I'm going to copy yours. I think an extroverted introvert's probably a good description.
It's interesting, right?
Yeah, Andrea, she's the social director. She does all that. So.
Oh yeah, the wives are great with that.
Yeah, she's good at that. Very good at that.
So to conclude, because this is about wealth, right? It's a podcast about wealth. How would you say your definition, you might have answered some of this during our conversation, but I want to just make sure we get it out. How would your definition of wealth evolved over the years? So when you first were younger and you can remember, what was your definition of wealth then? And then what is it now?
So I think when you first graduate, you get in the business world, right? And you really don't know what you're doing. I think I looked at people who I thought, or maybe they did make a lot of money, and I thought, yeah, they're wealthy, they're rich. I don't necessarily look at that way anymore, because I know quite a few people make a lot of money that have no real worth, right? If they lose their jobs within a couple months, they might be in a little bit of trouble because they live way beyond their means. I mean, earning a nice income is part of it, but also having, from a financial standpoint, also having assets that work for you. Okay. And by that, I don't mean
that's the bean counter.
It's the bean counter.
I love it.
A car isn't necessarily an asset, right? I mean, and my boys, it's funny. I'll listen to one of them. They got a friend who 4 or 5 cars in the driveway, and I happen to know their situation.
Yeah.
They make good money, but they are not wealthy by any means.
Big difference,
right? Yeah.
Rich and wealth are two different things.
Absolutely. And I think you learn that over time, right? You learn who is sort of doing it for show and who really kind of has it.
Yep.
And it's not always apparent, but I mean, that's for me. That's what's changed, and that's just the financial side. But also, I mean, you look at a well-balanced person in life. I mean, the emotional and psychological side of it, the physical side of it. How many people do you know that make good money and might be wealthy, but they're lonely, they have terrible health, right? Or vice versa. They're somebody who's super healthy, but is looking for a meal every night. I mean, it's the balance.
It's the balance.
Yeah, it's the balance.
I like that. Great. All right. Well, Craig, thanks. It's been excellent. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you at the gym.
Great.